Paul Joseph Frack was born on April 26, 1964 at Michael Rhee Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, to Chester and Dora Frack. However, the joy his parents felt at his birth was soon snuffed out when Paul vanished from the hospital. According to Dora, a nurse entered the room and told her that the doctor wanted to examine the baby. Dora handed her son over, and he was never returned. By all accounts, the woman who took Paul was dressed as a nurse but was not a member of the staff. She subsequently fled the hospital and was never seen again. The search for Paul Frack was the largest manhunt that the city of Chicago had ever seen and involved 175,000 postal workers, 200 police officers, and the FBI. 600 homes were searched in less than 24 hours, but no sign of the missing baby ever emerged. The story made headlines up and down the country, and the Fracks made desperate pleas for their baby's safe return, with Dora stating, "We just want our baby back and hope she will. Please take care of him." For 2 years, Chester and Dora Frack mourned the loss of their new baby as investigators chased down every tip they came across. Sadly, at the time, the police had very little to go on, telling the parents that blood type and ear shape were about the only leads they had. At the time, the shape of an infant's ear was thought to be as individual as a fingerprint. Authorities looked into the background of around 10,000 babies, but none were identified as Paul. Then in 1966, the FBI reached out to the Fracks about an abandoned baby who had been recently placed in foster care. The child was located inside a pram and had a black eye. The FBI expected the parents to immediately come forward to claim him, but nobody ever did, and he was placed into foster care. Authorities suspected that he may be the missing Paul Frack because he was the only boy they could not fully rule out from the investigation. After they were contacted, Dora and Chester traveled to New Jersey to collect the toddler whom they believed was their son. Much later, Paul stated that his mother could either say, "I'm not sure," and put this child back in the system, or say, "Yes, that's my son. And even if he was not, save this child from what could be a horrible life." For years, the family lived together in harmony, but Paul's suspicions began to be piqued when he was 10 years old and discovered newspaper clippings about the kidnapping inside a crawl space where he had been searching for Christmas presents. When he confronted his parents about it, they told him that he had indeed been kidnapped as a baby. "But we found you, we love you, and that's all you need to know." In 2012, Paul finally gave in to his desire to learn the truth. He took a DNA test and asked his parents to do the same. To his surprise, they agreed. So who were his parents? And what happened to the real Paul Frack? These questions seemed more difficult to answer now that Paul knew the truth about his family. The following year, a group of genealogist volunteers called the DNA Detectives took up Paul's case. In June of 2015, they announced that he was Jack Rosenthal of Atlantic City. Paul stated, "My real parents were really not very nice people. I'm thankful they abandoned me because it allowed me to be with the Frack." However, in later years, finally, in 2019, the real Paul Frack was located. He was identified as Kevin Ray Batty. Kevin was raised by Lorraine Fountain, who had been dating a Chicago-based doctor when she suddenly moved to Arkansas for a year before returning with the baby. However, Lorraine died in 2004,